This information is free and might very well save your comfortable retirement. By acting before the election, you can still make a tax and penalty-free conversion with the help of True Gold's award-winning team. Call 800-300-GOLD. That's 800-300-GOLD. True Gold Republic is not a financial advisor. Consult with your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-300-4653.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Russia's central bank raising its key interest rate by 2 percentage points today to a record 21%. That's in an effort to combat growing inflation. Trouble at Spirit Airlines, the budget carrier, cutting jobs and selling off jets worth millions as aims to cut costs amid ongoing financial struggles. AAA says gasoline is down a nickel over the last week. The average price nationwide now stands at $3.14. Yet 2 more members of the Los Angeles Times editorial board have resigned after the newspaper's owner blocked its plan to endorse Kamala Harris. Wall Street today, the Dow dropped 259 points, S&P 500 off a fraction. The NASDAQ was up 103. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith.
A nighttime tonight with some pretty decent conditions yet. Temperatures level off from the afternoon highs. Heading down to the lowest in the morning tomorrow of 60s mostly. Some 50s on the North Shore. There may be patches of fog about for the morning tomorrow, as well as Sunday. Tomorrow afternoon, sunshine plentiful, another really nice-looking day, but gets a little warmer, middle 80s, middle to upper 80s, and approaching near record highs on Sunday. More of the same continues Monday, Tuesday of next week. Next chance of rain looks to be late next week. Halloween from this early vantage point, still indicating warm temperatures through then. Ralph Sanjay, WGSO. Swamp Pot Music Weekend, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Ted Durr, the Michael Sanchez Band, Justin Corday Band, Sons of a Beach, and more. Hidden Notes Campground, Hammond, $20 for adults. Kids 2 years old and under get in free for camping kids. Admission is free at the Swamp Pot Music Festival. Hidden Notes Family Campground.com.
The views and opinions expressed during this show are those of the host and guests only. In no way do they represent the views, positions, or opinions expressed or implied of WGSO 990 AM or North Shore Radio Incorporated.
Good afternoon, my fellow God-loving American patriots. Welcome to a special Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya radio show. I'm John Swisher with my co-host, Mike Silva.
Happy Friday, everybody.
And special co-host from Liberty of Lockdown, the Honorable Miss Martha Huckabee.
Hello, hello.
And I think she has a special guest.
Yes, we do. All right. So we only have this first segment. Thank God they allowed us to come in, but we're going to bring you back next week. We have attorney Jeff Wittebrink with us. And so we're going to break some news for you right now. Jeff, we're going to turn it over to you. We can't hear you. You're on. Hold on a second. All right. There you go. I can hear you now. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on, Martha. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm calling because we have filed a lawsuit against the Secretary of State. I represent Philip Calais. He is a member of the Board of Election Supervisors in West Baton Rouge Parish. And he has discovered, and of course, we've determined that the way that the Secretary of State and the Commissioner of Elections are running the elections is unconstitutional. And the reason it's unconstitutional is that our Constitution requires that, number one, we vote by secret ballot. Well, that's the easy part. We all vote by secret ballot. But number two, that those ballots are counted publicly. And number three, that those ballots are preserved inviolate until all election contests have been decided. So what that means is right now, when we have a statewide election in Louisiana, we vote on what's called DRE, direct recording equipment. They're computers. They're just computers. And we vote on these computers. You punch a button, and your vote goes in the black box, and then it's tallied up, and you get a total. Well, so what that means is no ballots are being counted publicly. There's no public counting of the ballots. Now, it's not impossible for you to be able to do that with a machine, but the way that we're doing it right now is not being done. So we're saying it's unconstitutional as applied, as the law is being applied. Now, Secretary of State knows that. They've been knowing for years that we have problems
Yes, they have.
with our machines. There was a Inspector General's report a couple of years ago that came out and talked about all the vulnerabilities of the machines. And we know that there's been a statute passed that when we get a new system, it's going to have some kind of a paper backup, which would presumably then show the ballot that you're voting on and preserve the ballot you're voting on. But we don't have that right now. And what compounds the situation is that presently we're under a cybersecurity emergency. Now, we have been under a cybersecurity emergency since December of 2023. And what that means is Governor John Bel Edwards determined that we had been hacked by numerous cyber hackers, different institutions in our state. The Department of Motor Vehicles of Louisiana was hacked. It's been hacked more than once, but most recently in June of 2024. All of our driver's license information, every single person that's got a driver's license in Louisiana, their information has been exposed. All the driver's licenses from the Department of Motor Vehicles, the 19th Judicial District Court has been hacked. And so we've had problems with the computers there. I think they're still having problems today. And the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office has been hacked. So all these different institutions have been hacked. We're under a cybersecurity emergency. We have no paper backup for our ballots, no way to audit or to go back and recount on anything that shows the voter's intention, with the exception of the absentee ballots. When there is an election contest in Louisiana right now, all we can do is recount the absentee ballots. Why? Those ballots are on paper. And so, for example, last December, back in up in Shreveport, they had a Caddo Parish sheriff's election, December 2023. And the election came down to one vote difference. So all they could do was go back and count the absentee ballots. They counted the absentee ballots. There were 4 or 5 improperly done ballots, but because, the way that they do the absentee ballots, they come with affidavits. Once those affidavits are separated from the ballot, you can't tell where they go because it's a secret ballot, right? Anyway, 4 or 5 ballots were improper, so they couldn't decide the election. They had to have the whole election over again. But just think if they'd had all of the ballots on paper, then they would do a recount and be much more difficult. Across Louisiana, about 97% of our vote is direct recording, and only about 3% is absentee. So in a close election, you're going to have the whole state decided by basically 3% of the people. At any rate, we're very, very vulnerable. We filed a lawsuit against the Secretary of State to try to get her to file an emergency plan and have our election in such a way as we're able to go back and preserve those ballots inviolate in case it's close, in case there's any kind of a problem. Simply can't tell what happens with the vote once you push that button.
And so where are you in regards to the lawsuit right now? Is it being held up, or where are you in it?
We filed the suit. We had a hearing. So as soon as we filed, we asked for a preliminary injunction against the Secretary of State to keep her from holding an election that was not compliant with the Constitution. And they filed 9 separate exceptions. Back in April of 2024, a brand new law was passed to say that if you say that a law is unconstitutional, that you must file it as an ordinary proceeding, which means it has to go to a regular trial. No such thing as a summary proceeding. You have to serve the Attorney General. So they're making it much slower and more difficult to deal with these constitutional questions, even if there's an emergency. Right now.
And that was Jeff Landry that signed that into law.
Well, it was passed in February of passed in February and came into effect in April of 2024. So, yeah, that would have been Governor Landry that signed that bill. Anyway, it's just unfortunate that we have a roadblock. We have, so they filed an exception. We won the exception in front of the trial court based on the fact that we have this cybersecurity emergency. And so because of that, the judge overruled their exception, and they have taken writs to the First Circuit Court of Appeal. We're presently up on writs, and they filed their writ application a week ago. We filed our now waiting on the Court of Appeal to see if they will uphold the trial court and let our case go forward. They still have 8 other exceptions to deal with. So it's going to be very difficult to have an effect on this election, which is our original intention. But we will fight on about the constitutionality of the way the Secretary of State is handling our elections right now. You know, we're being told on the radio all the time that this is the most secure and safest election we've ever had. I think we heard that once before from CISA back in 2020, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Well, Jeff, how about if Brandon would have won, we would definitely have safe elections.
You know, Mr. Trosclair, yes.
Yes.
Well, so I think that he would have paid attention to these issues. Now we're being told that maybe 2028 before they even, they've had this knowledge for a couple of years now. And last time, the Public Affairs Research Council, PAR, they had issued a report back in 22 saying they thought we would get these new, quote, machines, unquote, before this presidential election. Well, that's out the window.
Yeah.
And now they're talking 2028.
We're going to get you back on Liberty or Lockdown and Holy and Patriotic. I just want to get this out real quick. We're going to move on to the next segment. We appreciate you, and we'll be praying for you. And this is the first time that you've heard this. So we've been under security cyber emergency in the state of Louisiana, and Jeff Wittebrink is the attorney that's dealing with election integrity. We'll have you on next week again. Thank you so much, sir.
No matter the size of the repair, A New Beginning Refinishing has been using a new high gloss casting porcelain coating guaranteed to never peel. They also offer a unique service called the Tup Cut, which is a fraction of the cost of replacement, and adding a grab bar installation and a slip resistant surface helps to improve accessibility, reduce accidents, and helps people remain in their home as long as possible. Call A New Beginning Refinishing LLC for a free estimate at 985-279-5103 or visit their website at www.anewbeginningrefinishing.com. Or you can visit their showroom in Hollycrest Plaza at 600 North Highway 190, Suite 2 in Covington. That's A New Beginning Refinishing LLC at 985-279-5103.
Look at this outrageous insurance bill.
Man, everything Washington does makes life more expensive. Thank God we have Governor Landry.
What's he doing?
Well, while Washington's made a mess of things, inflation, gas, food, and the economy, Jeff Landry's fighting back, recruiting new jobs, trimming state government, and standing up for us.
Thank you. Everyone's struggling. Everyone except for the insurance companies. They're getting rich off record profits, while my rates keep going up.
Jeff Landry knows that. He's taking action. Jeff signed nearly 30 bills to reduce rates and vetoed a bill that lets insurance companies profit even more.
Oh, but they didn't like that.
Political insiders aren't happy, but Jeff won't slow down. He just keeps fighting for us and winning.
Governor Jeff Landry always puts families over special interests and fights for what's fair. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
Hello, Christian Patriots. Want to invest in gold and silver at cost? Well, you've come to the right place. At Cost Metals. At costmetals.com. You can purchase gold and silver at much lower prices than the leading metals exchanges. Call 985-469-1188 or email Huck at WGSO.com or flamingconservative@WGSO.com. And right now, At Cost Metals has a new coin, the Trump assassination coin. You do not want to miss this coin. At costmetals.com.
Are you looking for the perfect personalized gift for your friends and loved ones? Then look no further than Crow and Crescent. Crow and Crescent provides customizable handmade gifts, tumbler cups, and much more. All items are handmade with care and can be gift wrapped with personalized messages. For more information, you can find us at crowandcrescent.com and on Instagram. Crow and Crescent, let us show you the right gift for any occasion.
Hey everybody, this is Mike from the Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya Show. If you need to convert your existing bathtub into a step-in shower, call my friends at A New Beginning Refinishing. They can repair and refinish any type of bathtub or shower, no matter the size of the repair. A New Beginning Refinishing has been using a new high-gloss casting porcelain coating, guaranteed to never peel. They also offer you a unique service called the Top Cut, which is a fraction of the cost of replacement, and adding a grab bar installation and a slip-resistant surface helps to improve accessibility, reduce accidents, and helps people remain in their home as long as possible. Call A New Beginning Refinishing, LLC for a free estimate at 985-279-5103 or visit their website at www.anewbeginningrefinishing.com. Or you can visit their showroom in Hollycrest Plaza at 600 North Highway 190, Suite 2 in Covington. That's A New Beginning Refinishing, LLC at 985-279-5103.
Hello, this is Jack Clay. I want to thank all my listeners and the support I get here at WGSO for making our program, The Jack Clegg Show, successful. Along with that success has come a change in time zones. No, we're not moving to the Pacific time zone, but we are changing the time of our show. Now, for the immediate future, we'll be 11 a.m. to noon on Tuesday and Thursday. Callers are welcome. That's a Jack Clegg Show at 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks for listening.
If you're suffering with scalp irritation or inflammation of the scalp, maybe flaky scalp or loss of hair, there's a new treatment out there called Ceravive. Call Spot Isabel on Magazine Street, 504-595-5009. $3.99 per session. You'll need about 3 sessions. That's 504-595-5009. Spot Isabel.
Chef Jamie Gwen here. Tune in for delicious conversation and let me feed your soul every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
FBI, open up! Just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible.
Tyranny in the USA.
We warned about this years ago.
I'm Tom Coates.
I'm Michelle Godin.
We're
Baldy and the Blonde. Wednesdays at 4 on WGSO. Follow us on X at Baldy Blonde.
That's not America.
Ron Richardson is here to tell you that you should tune into my show, Conversations with Ron Richardson, every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
Hi, this is Rusty, owner of the Olive Branch Cafe. Join me on Tuesdays at 4 for the Best Bank Hour on WGSO 990.
Welcome back, Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya Radio Show. It's John Swisher with Mike Silver and my special co-host, Martha Huckabee. Cajun Buccaneer, you ready?
Yes, I am. Good evening, brother and sister, pro-life American whistleblowers. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy, holy, holy is thy name. Thy kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from all forms of evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
We pledge allegiance to the people of the United States of America and to the republic. That's the republic for which they all stand. One nation under God, with liberty, justice, and freedom forever and ever for all here in America and the whole world. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Cajun Buccaneer. We had that special first segment. We wanted to get that information out there, but he will be coming back next week on the Liberty or Lockdown show and probably Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya also to give you a follow-up report. But right now we have a guest. He goes by the name of Esso. He did some interesting interviews and talking to some people, all I think between the ages of 18 and 30, getting their output and what they thought about the state of the union, what's going on in our country, what they think about the current administration, what they think about voting, who they're going to vote for. And he found some interesting information out. So I'm going to introduce him right now. Welcome to the show, SO.
What's up, Mr. Mike? Thank y'all so much for having me on the Patriotic Jambalaya show. I'm honored to be a guest on y'all's show.
We appreciate you coming. Why don't you just give a brief, let everybody know briefly what you did and like some important information that you found.
Sure. So I found it almost like a moral responsibility to call into the show to share thoughts from friends, friends of friends, and even strangers, and people that are around I'm 28, but people that are like you said, from the ages of 18 to 30, and what they're going through and what their honest thoughts are. You know, whenever I interviewed these people, I didn't just bum rush them or approach them in a weird way to where they just gave me some defensive answer. I made sure to carefully, diffuse them and make them feel comfortable and give their true thoughts and how they felt. Because, when COVID happened, I felt crazy. I honestly felt crazy. And whenever it ended, it took a long time to get back to where I felt normal. And doing this showed that, there's more people that felt that way. Did you feel that way at all during COVID or after COVID?
It was, I think everybody was going, what in the world is going on? This, it was craziness everywhere in the world, not just America.
I call it a scandemic and a plandemic.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because they flipped out over. That's a whole subject. But basically, the most important topics that I wanted to cover was like just how disillusioned the youth is. And I must have interviewed I'd probably about 20 people that were like pretty solid interviews, but I'd say 10 were really, really good. And that's more than enough for them all to be saying the same things tells me something. And the amount of disillusionment, the lost morality, lost spirituality. Nobody wants to go to church, or if they do believe in God, it's not like it used to be. There's not like a strong sense of urgency to go to church or to pray or to involve God in a prayer before a meal. Just it's not talked about or discussed. It's almost frowned upon. It's almost like if you bring that up, you might be rubbing someone the wrong way. That's like I said, I'm only speaking about people in between the ages of 18 and 30.
Right.
People don't seem to want children. Most people that I meet, I'd say about half of these people have depression, and I'd say that about 80% of them has struggled with some form of it. So that's mental health right there. No direction. I mean, like aimlessness in life, almost like a sense of hopelessness, disbelief in the government, and faith in America. They've like lost total faith in the system, and I can certainly understand why.
Kind of the feeling I get about what's going on with the youth. They're offended by everything. There's no really family values anymore. I think you're absolutely right on that. Things I can just go by because I'm 60, so I can go by how it was when I was younger, and it is definitely not even close to how it was when I was younger.
What was it like when you were younger in terms of like, because like now, like I can't, if I like get in a fight with somebody, like a man-to-man fight over some disagreement, it can't even be settled because there's cameras everywhere. And it's like everyone's afraid. And this is another topic that was brought up. Nobody, the youth, and I'm sure y'all all feel this way. I'm sure everyone. Go ahead.
So hold that thought. We got to take another break. So we'll be back to keep talking to you. You're listening to the Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya Show. If you want to call, the number is 504-556-9696. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Kevin Carr, host of Fat Guys at the Movies. Listen every Sunday at 8 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City. The 16th annual Oak Street Po' Boy Fest, presented by Tony Sacheries, will be held on Sunday, October 27th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 40 food vendors will serve up incredible versions of the city's iconic sandwich, along with a VIP area, art market, history panel, and a kids zone run by School of Rock. Live music on multiple stages will feature Shantytown Underground, Nell and Bell, Mia Borders, Dim Roots, Eric Johansson, the Po' Boy Fest Brass Band, River Eckert, and many more. Please visit po'boyfest.com for more information.
Join me, J.C. Smith, on Stay Safe NOLA, Mondays at 5 p.m. as I discuss crime and how to stay safe in the Crescent City. Stay Safe NOLA, only on WGSO 990 AM.
Hi, this is Rusty from the Olive Branch Cafe. The Olive Branch Cafe pizzas, pastas, and salads are the West Bank's favorites. We use only the freshest ingredients and prepare everything daily, like our lasagna, Caesar salad with our homemade Caesar dressing, and signature pizzas, including our Cajun trio, smoked sausage, chicken, and crawfish. Our lunch menu includes wraps, subs, soups, and salads, and everything starts at less than $12. West Bank born, West Bank raised, West Bank proud. The Olive Branch Cafe, Marrero and Algiers.
Get ready, Greater New Orleans. The Great Southern Gun and Knife Show is coming for 2 days only, October 26th and 27th at the Punch Train Center on Williams Boulevard. Show hours, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 5. Hundreds of dealer tables available, full of guns, knives, ammunition, holsters, gun books, camouflage, jewelry, and more. That's the Great Southern Gun and Knife Show, October 26th and 27th at the Punch Train Center. Show hours, 9 to 5 on Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday. Don't miss it.
Got your license to grill? Call Chew on This, Saturdays at noon on WGSO, and tell us all about it. Don Clement and Patty B are waiting to hear your
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. Early voting continues at a brisk pace. Joel Watson with the Secretary of State's office says while the number of early voters so far is huge, it pales in comparison to the number of ballots the office expects to be cast in the final days of early voting and on Election Day.
In 2020, we saw about 2.1 million votes cast. Turnout was a little over 70%. And during the early voting period, when you combine early in-person and absentee voting, we saw just over 1 million votes cast before Election Day.
Early voting continues through Tuesday, except for Sunday. The Port of New Orleans is on track for a record-breaking year this year.
1.3 million cruise passenger movements are expected this year. That is up from 1.2 million last year. And we continue to have continued commitments from our cruise lines.
Kimberly Kurth with the Port of New Orleans says with this many passengers, the port is all the way back from the pandemic. LRN.
Sing, play, live. Squeeze every ounce of life out of every day. Memorize every sunset, every face you love, and climb every obstacle until you can't go higher.
With Louisiana Blue, you're free to live your life, to grow wings. That's because you've got the compassion of the cross, the security of the shield, and the comfort of blue behind you. Your Louisiana Blue Card opens doors to top doctors to care for you so you can stay healthy, happy.
Make every moment yours, every day memorable. Live your life wide open.
For 90 years, we've kept you covered, Louisiana, so you can keep moving, keep living your life. Live, Louisiana. We've got you. Louisiana Blue, Louisiana True.
Hello, Christian Patriots. Want to invest in gold and silver at cost? Well, you've come to the right place. At Cost Metals. At costmetals.com, you can purchase gold and silver at much lower prices than the leading metals exchanges. Call 985-469-1188 or email Huck at WGSO.com or flamingconservative at WGSO.com.
And right now, At Cost Metals has a new coin, the Trump assassination coin. You do not want to miss this coin. AtCostMetals.com.
Tune in to the Your Personal Bank Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. or contact parents at yourpersonalbank.com. The Your Personal Bank Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on WGSO 990 a.m. New Orleans.
What's up, y'all? I'm Derek, Mr. Smoker Freeman. Do yourself a favor. Tune in to the Only Good Vibes News Network, Thursdays at 4 p.m. on WGSO AM 990 or streaming on all your devices at www.wgso.com. Join Whistle and Jay as they bring you good news and good vibes about our community. Just 1 hour a week. Come practice a positive vibe.
Get up early on Saturdays and talk LSU athletics with us. Tiger Rag Radio every Saturday morning, 5 to 7 on WGSO, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Tired of placing multiple calls to multiple vendors and getting the runaround? Turn to one resource who can get it done. Sir Speedy. We provide a wide spectrum of print, signs, and marketing services, all backed by more than 5 decades of experience. So when you need that new brochure, direct marketing campaign, or signage to promote your brand, give us a call at 504-586-9812 or visit us online at SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com. Everything you need, one resource, Sir Speedy.
I'm pet trendologist Charlotte Reed. Listen to the Pet Buzz airing every Saturday at 6 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community.
Welcome back to the Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya Show. On the phone, we have our guest, Esso. He's done some research and talked to a good number of people between the ages of 18 and 30. Wanted to get their outlook on the way of life in America these days, and politically and family and spiritually, and maybe who they're voting for. Got a lot of information. I want to get back with you on some of your findings. And so basically, how were the 18 to 30-year-olds feeling about the state of America and how we're in right now?
Well, like I said from the beginning, the disillusionment is the problem. They like, and here's something that you may feel the same way as well. Almost all of them, and this is what blew my mind, believe that there was an oligarchy or there's some kind of group controlling the president. It's kind of hard to not think that whenever Joe Biden is falling asleep on the podium when he's making a speech. Right. It's like, you know, so that right there, I was kind of, honestly, I was surprised because I thought that maybe I was maybe crazy for thinking something like that. But no, that really seems like an actuality, something that could be a true thing at this point. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, the videos don't lie. I mean, we're watching this guy, just his composure, his cognitive skills. He's losing track of his thoughts. He's speaking crazy. He's not making any sense when he's talking. He's nodding off in meetings with other world leaders. I mean, we see it on video. So how can these people say that it's not happening or it's not a big deal? It is a huge deal.
It is, yeah. And it's a real concern to every young person. And this is the problem. They're not wanting to vote because of it. They're like, my girlfriend, she interviewed a bunch of girls and did an excellent job of disarming them. And I don't even know if the girls knew they were being recorded, but they didn't even want to vote. And like, they were liberal. I mean, liberal. And they didn't even want to vote for Kamala Harris. They were like, well, it's kind of like picking money over sanity. That was their view of it, right? And they're like, some of them were even talking about, you know, if I was going to vote, I'd vote for Trump just so we can have some money because I have no money, which brings us to another issue, the job crisis. I mean, it is a crisis. Like, literally, I know so many people that I've not even people I haven't interviewed that are young that can't get a job that pays enough, or just in general can't find a job even at a freaking Waffle House. Like, you have to apply online, go through all kinds of bulls about all kinds of random stuff, and then an AI like will go through it and then decide whether or not you're worthy of working there. And that's just to get like a bottom of the barrel job. You know, this isn't, you're not applying to be a brain surgeon, you know, so that's a problem. Even trade schools have become expensive. And degrees are almost useless at this point because employers expect people to go above and beyond because it's so dang competitive right now, because there aren't many jobs in general. And I think that is because of Biden. I think that, and these people, they just, a lot of them agreed with that, but they just seem to have no interest in the candidates or voting or doing any of it. They're disillusioned.
The problem with college degrees is these people put themselves in debt and expect us to pay for it, having useless degrees like in
gender studies,
transgender studies, basket weaving.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting in debt and they can't afford it. And one of the tools I think Biden and Harris was using is that forgiving the student loan. They can't do that. It's never going to get past Congress. So what they're doing is they're throwing them a bone. You know, they're saying they're going to eliminate your student loan debt, thinking they can buy your vote, but it's never going to pass Congress. They're just trying to get your vote.
That's a sick tactic because, like you just said, they're doing things like gender studies, things like that. Which, I mean, I don't know what there really is much more to study about gender. I mean, either you have a PP or the other one, right? I mean, it's
That's
really
it.
not
There's
that
only
hard
two.
It's only two, right? I mean, but like, here's the thing though about that. That's another point in a topic that I brought up about people misunderstanding transgender. They think of it like it's some kind of community or something. They're genuinely people that I've met that were cool, they were trans, but they never talked about it at all. I forgot that they were trans, and they didn't care if I called them her, them, they, whatever. I didn't even think of that. But I've also met people like that you can tell are like, just mad, angry people. And you find those in all walks of life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
absolutely. I mean, if you're a man and you want to pretend you're a woman, more power to you. But that doesn't mean I have to pretend you're a woman. You know, that's your prerogative, and if that's what you to do. I mean, you can go. You know, you're like I said. You know, more power to you. But you can't make me pretend that you're a woman. You can't do that. It's not how it works.
And I can guarantee you that my friend that is transgender would say, "Yeah, I don't care." He's like, "Yeah, it doesn't bother me because I know that I feel that way, and I like to make dresses, and this is how I feel because all my role models were female or whatever." And it gets misrepresented in the media, and it confuses people. I think that's an area of confusion, and I don't hate, but I don't know because I don't really know because I don't go to college. But like that, if they're doing gender studies and all this stuff, is that something that's happening right now? They're doing gender studies?
Absolutely. And so you spend, $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is, on a degree in gender studies, and then you graduate. Where are you going to get a job doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And that's why they're in debt and they can't get a job, so they can't pay it back.
Yeah, but they expect us to pay for it.
Well,
okay. How about this? How about having tampon machines in the boys' bathroom at school?
Yeah, that's our vice president nominee right now.
None of the people I talked to would think that was sane. All of those people would think that is crazy. I haven't spoken to one person that would think that made any sense. They might go along with it, or if I went up to them, and because I have went up to people and it gone the wrong way. Like I tried approaching people before, and then they're real defensive, and they may have said, "Oh no, it's perfectly fine to have that." I don't know what the problem is. Are you racist? But they'll act like that. But whenever deep in their core, they know that that's not right. Well, where do you even put a tampon in a boy? You know what I mean? That don't work. It don't make no sense. Confounds reason. But but a more important issue is that this medical system right now. That was something I brought up to people because of the mental health problems that everyone's having, right? Like younger people, especially depression. They will put these poor people that would be effective people in society on freaking Zoloft and all of these insane antidepressants rather than it's so impersonal. Like I'm somebody who personally has to take certain medications. I don't take antidepressants, but they're specific medications that some people could abuse, and that could, that makes it harder to get. So like I have to make sure I find the right doctor, or else, I'm screwed. And it's getting to a point where they all have a computer system. It's so impersonal that they don't even ask for your name. Like whenever I'm looking for a new doctor, or whenever I have, they don't even ask for your name. Right. They don't ask about my circumstances. They used to care, it seemed like. And this is happening. So people are getting put on these antidepressants, and it's making them even more depressed and more crazy. It works for some people. Don't get me wrong. It really does. But it's not.
Yeah, the side effects and the permanent damage done to a lot of people is irreversible. Like I said, permanent damage. And like we were talking before yesterday on the phone, when I said, if you want to find out who's in charge and what's going on, follow the money. And Big Pharma makes billions and billions, maybe trillions of dollars. And if there's no money in the cure, there's only money in the treatment.
Go to this
Go ahead.
Go to this website, followthemoney.org, and click on every politician. You believe it or not,
you'll be surprised, buddy. Followthemoney.org is a website.
Followthemoney.org.
All right, so hold on. We're going to take another commercial break. We'll be back to finish our conversation with you. You're listening to the Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya Show. You can call at 504-556-9696. We'll be right back.
Louisiana, born and raised. Louisiana, with all my dues are paid. Louisiana, wouldn't have it any other.
Welcome back, Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya Radio Show. Call the New Beginning Refinishing Talk Line, 504-556-9696. We have Esso on the phone.
All right, so we have someone on the phone. I want to see if they got a question for you. If not, a good pertinent question. If not, we'll continue the conversation. Matthew from Metairie, do you have a question for Esso?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. So if I were to explain to this, and it sounds like you're talking about Generation Z, which this kind of corresponds with a lot of what Six Hexenhammer says. If I were to explain to them that there is a candidate in this race who is not controlled by the oligarchy, as a matter of fact, they tried to kill him twice, that maybe it's worthwhile for them to just go cast a vote for this man. Would that inspire them to action? Would that give them any hope for the future?
So the question is, it's a little bit hard to understand you. Matthew, is it?
Yes.
Matthew, it's a little bit hard to understand you. You're asking, can you rephrase the question? I couldn't really understand you for some reason.
Okay, so if I were to explain to these cohort of people that you have interviewed that there is a candidate in this current race who is not part of the oligarchy that they rightly believe is controlling the world, would they be inspired to cast a vote for that candidate?
That's an excellent question, Matthew. And this is why I'm on the show right now, because I'm someone who didn't used to really care for Trump. I just didn't. Never resonated with me. But look at the evil that we're facing on the other side. I look at that woman and think, okay, that's a pawn. And that's so obvious. It's like, yes, we know. So how would they respond? How can we inspire these people? How can we actually do it? How can we make a positive change? Because we have to. There's really no choice at this point, because I'm sick of watching everybody around me fall to pieces and bits and be all literally bad vibes. Sir?
They have no hope. Their hope has been stolen from them by an evil system that wants to replace them. Wants to replace me, wants to replace you, John, and Mike.
Yes, sir, Matthew. You make an excellent point, and you raise a very good question. How do we inspire the youth to actually vote for Donald Trump? How can we do that? Because that's the option right now, and that's how we move forward, and that's how we get back to where we can have jobs, dude. If we can have jobs and get on our feet, I think that's the pitch right there. If you want to get out of the
policy, every policy Donald Trump has suggested gives us jobs. Just came up with a new one overnight. Do away with income tax. Go back to tariffs as a method of funding the government. It's a heavy lift, but it's a worthwhile lift.
I think it's very worthwhile.
Most definitely. Before World War I, there was no such thing as income tax nor property tax. The Democrat Party saw it as an opportunity to scam money out of the people.
Hey, SO, did you, in your talks with these people, did anybody come out in strong favor of one candidate or the other?
Yes, there were a few that at first were in very strong favor of Donald Trump. There were some that were in very strong favor of Kamala Harris. And then after about 10 minutes of talking, that went away. It was like a veneer, and it got stretched thin, and then they suddenly started talking truthfully. And whenever, it's almost like the information that they digest or that they hear, most of it from TikTok, by the way, which is another subject. Like, they'll just scroll all the time and just hear.
Some people only get their news from TikTok, and they're so not the only place to get your news from.
TikTok is dangerous.
Dude,
it's owned by the
dangerous.
Chinese.
It was, and it's an echo chamber of brain rot and degeneracy and lunacy, total lunatic echo chamber, and just a bad thing for your brain. I don't see it being good, but for the candidates, they'll get there. They'll be very, very strong in their stance at first, and then once I get to talking to them and on a personal level, they'll tell me straight up that they don't know. Which is, I think, for the vast majority of all the youth, I think that's the way it is. Because if it was that way for 20 to 30 people, I can't see it, and I also sense that, and because I also feel that myself, of this uncertainty that's been around since around 2020, 2019, and then it's gotten better, sure, but most of it's done by self-will, and most people, some people they need an extra push, and I think that having an incentive like, I don't know, money will absolutely help us in that way. And I think that was that is an excellent point that was made about how do we inspire these people? How do we move them? How do we get them to vote? How do we get them to get behind this and absolutely vote and then inspire other people in turn? Because we got to get out of this.
Quit watching TikTok only. There's so many other sources out there you can get information from, not just TikTok. And I'm afraid that's what's happening.
Even Facebook is
even Facebook sometimes.
They used to have this conservative version of Facebook called yourspot.com, but it went belly up.
Right. Well, I think TikTok is also dangerous. Just to there's the attention span theory that may or may not be real. Probably so. It's probably not good. But as far as influence and the amount of influence TikTok has over people, and to watch and knowing that these people scroll. I know when someone scrolls on the phone, whenever I talk to them, you can tell sort of by their tact, their approach to you. everyone's anxious to some degree, right? But these people are usually more anxious, and then their points aren't so honest at first. They're more like, I heard that on TikTok and I am repeating it. And you know how you can sort of tell whenever someone's absorbed a lot of information and didn't go out and research it themselves, or you know what I'm saying? You can tell. And then whenever that veneer dies down, you suddenly know, and you see that person, you're like, okay, now I see, now we're talking on the same level. And then I'll tell them I straight up don't know this or that. And then I think that's the key. I think people need to be more honest with each other, and need to be more patient. I'm as patient as you can possibly be with some of these radical leftist people, and try to hear them out the best we can to, because I mean, this is the Kamala, that everything I tried to research, you saw that the article that I tried to write, dude, that was almost, I couldn't do it. Like, with integrity, read that over the air,
right?
Just because of, you know, all the stuff that I heard from that came out of that woman's mouth, not all of it, but almost all of it, was so unbelievable. And I try to stay away from even watching that stuff, but at this point, I've seemed to have no choice but to get involved in it, because if not, I'll have that weight on me, and I can't have that. You know, I've got to do something about it. You know, the triumph of evil will happen if I do nothing. You know, like
exactly.
That's the only way for evil to triumph. You know, if good people do nothing.
Exactly. I mean, these young people need to do some more research instead of just watching TikTok or social media. There's so many places to get news out there. So much of the mainstream media is in the left's pocket, is in the Democrats' pocket. I don't understand why this is. They keep getting it away with this for so long, and everything the left accuses the right of doing, they're the ones actually doing the wrong and the evil. You know, I see it every day. And they call Trump Hitler and a Nazi, and everything they're pushing is how Germany was when Hitler was in charge. You know, yet everything was controlled by the government. And I don't want the government in my life. I mean, I want the basic necessities. You know, got to have the military and the infrastructure, but I don't need the government telling me if I can have a gas stove or if I have to wear a mask. I don't need the government telling me that, or where I got to bring my kids to school. That is not the job of the government.
No, it's sick. And like that thing you said earlier about them talking about gender and college, and then us having to pay for it, people that work hard, that's totally wrong. And then them teaching children about can you let them figure it out themselves, you know, if someone's gay or not? Like, why do you have to push it on them?
Exactly.
Like, that's dude, that would confuse me. Wouldn't that confuse anybody if they're in school and it's like, why are they teaching me about the rainbow flag when I should be learning about perhaps how I can be a better and more effective citizen, or learn about math or something that's useful? You know,
you can't buy a pack of cigarettes or get a tattoo until you're 18, but you can decide you want to switch your gender at 6, 7, or 8. You know, isn't that insanity?
That was well said. But yeah, that is total insanity. So like, yeah, you can change your, well, here's my biggest thing about that. You can't, that's not the problem. If you're having some kind of emotional issue or mental issue, changing your arm, leg, eye, private parts, feet, none of that's going to make it better. That's not what's causing it. It's your brain. It's your surroundings. It's something else. It ain't that. That's not the answer.
Right.
You know, it's just not. I mean, these people, and like I said, most of these people have anxiety problems, and they're living in fear. And I have so much empathy for them. It's really sad, man. And the only thing we can do is do our utmost best to be patient, I think, to inspire them and to get them to vote for Donald Trump, because I'm absolutely voting for Trump. There is no option. Dude, the research, I was so upset and angry yesterday after all the interviews I watched with Kamala Harris, right, and this stuff that.
All right. So I'm sorry to cut you off, buddy, but we ran out of time. and we have to get ready for the next show. So I do appreciate you calling. Very, very informative, very good information for us. Matthew, thanks for the call. That was a great question. So thank you, SO. If you want to come back on again and you get some more information, we will definitely talk with you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Your band tomorrow night?
Yes, tomorrow night at Hurricanes in Metairie is a Halloween party. My band, Alice Osborne, will be playing. We do Alice Cooper and Ozzy Osbourne tribute. So join us tomorrow night at Hurricanes in Metairie. Take it away, John.
God, family, and country in that order.
Hey everybody, this is Mike from the Holy N Patriotic Jambalaya Show. If you need to convert your existing bathtub into a step-in shower, call my friends at A New Beginning Refinishing. They can repair and refinish any type of bathtub or shower, no matter the size of the repair. A New Beginning Refinishing has been using a new high-gloss casting porcelain coating guaranteed to never peel. They also offer a unique service called the Tub Cut, which is a fraction of the cost of replacement, and adding a grab bar installation and a slip-resistant surface helps to improve accessibility, reduce accidents, and helps people remain in their home as long as possible. Call A New Beginning Refinishing, LLC for a free estimate at 985-279-5103 or visit their website at www.anewbeginningrefinishing.com. Or you can visit their showroom in Hollycrest Plaza at 600 North Highway 190, Suite 2 in Covington. That's A New Beginning Refinishing, LLC at 985-279-5103.
Hello, Christian Patriots. Want to invest in gold and silver at cost? Well, you've come to the right place. At Cost Metals. At costmetals.com, you can purchase gold and silver at much lower prices than the leading metals exchanges. Call 985-469-1188 or email Huck at WGSO.com or flamingconservative@WGSO.com. And right now, At Cost Metals has a new coin, the Trump assassination coin. You do not want to miss this coin. At costmetals.com.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Cruere. I've been with WGSO for 17 years as host and now president and general manager. WGSO is a community-based radio station, a nonprofit, locally operated. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasizing local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, then we have some prime spots available for you. Take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669.
Tune in to the Your Personal Bank Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. or contact parents at yourpersonalbank.com.